The Propcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Nick Fantasy. They're coming to customers, pledge of $5, get $100 bonus funds with promo code SGPN. And welcome everyone to the Propcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. Currently Friday morning, November 7th, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Reichel, once again joined by Rosenberg. Together, we're going to break down our thoughts for NFL Week 10. We had the Thursday night game yesterday, which was just a disgusting game of football. Hopefully, the games for Week 10, the rest of Week 10 are better. But either way, a bunch of games to get into. Should be fun. Adam, how's it going with you? What's up?
It's good. Hold on, dragging somebody in comments.
Are you rushing or are you dragging?
I'm dragging.
Okay. Yeah, so while you do that.
Anyway, it was, look, we won a couple bets, but.
I mean, I feel like most people didn't win.
We were on Raiders Island.
It was. Raiders got there. Game was disgusting.
Raiders got there on our alt, dude. That's what.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So that made up for it. But besides that, though, I mean, damn, I don't think Denver's very good. But the record's very good. So I guess
they're not. And like, they're not. And the worst part is that if they beat the Chiefs next week, they're going to be minus 300 favorites for that division.
Yeah, but you're looking at who they've beaten so far this season, and they haven't really beaten anybody good. So
I know. I think that's the thing is that like. Someone texted me today. They said, "Oh, I can't wait to fade them in the playoffs." I'm like, I don't know if you're really gonna have a lot to fade them on. They're gonna be like minus 2.5 favorites at home, and they have a very low public perception as is. And Peyton's a terrible playoff coach. So
yeah, I feel like the Broncos. I made a comp, which I don't know if you'll agree or disagree with, but they remind me of the Bears with Rex Grossman.
I saw that. I think Rex Gross.
I think the Knicks is better than Grossman, but it's the same type of team.
Yeah, I don't even know. I know what you're saying. It was very.
They just win these unimpressive defensive slugfests, and you're just like, I don't know how to feel, but you have 8 wins, so I guess that counts for something. But
yeah,
it's kind of the same idea. But
yeah,
to read off who they've beaten, by the way, they beat the Titans, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Eagles. So good win against the Eagles.
They beat the Eagles, but how did they beat the Eagles? They didn't score in the first half, and the Eagles didn't score in the second half.
Oh, no, correct. I'm just saying, like, that is still a win. They beat the Jets barely overseas, beat the Giants with a miracle comeback in the fourth quarter. Cowboys stink, beat the Texans barely with Davis Mills, and beat the Raiders. So the Eagles might be the only team worth a damn they've beaten this entire season, which is probably not a good sign. But who cares? Right now they're 8-2, and we'll see what happens. But damn, that game was hideous. That's really all I have to say about that game. But either way, before we get into anything for Week 10, I got to mention how we did for the plays yesterday because we did an episode for basketball and for hockey, as we do once every week on Thursday, and we crushed it. I believe you went 2-1, so that was a good episode in general. And I swept.
We were 1 Owen Tippett shot away from our underdog.
Yes, and I ended up sweeping. I had the Royce O'Neal PR that got there, had the Trouba underblock shots that got there, and on top of that, I also had the Zaka point. Overtime, 6 seconds left in overtime. He scores. So I appreciate that, Zaka, at the last minute. Love overtime, but either way, nice sweep for me. So 5-1 episode, can't complain. Hopefully you catch some of those plays with us. Anyway, before we get into our thoughts for Week 10, a reminder that the college basketball season already tipped off this week. Make sure to subscribe to the College Experience to catch their daily podcast. Download the SGPN app for free college basketball picks. And a reminder, you can find all the picks for different podcasts on this network on the SGPN app. So if you also want to get our picks in one easy location, check out the SGPN app absolutely free. So moving on to the plays that we have for NFL Week 10. Adam, how do you go first? What's going to be your first prop for Week 10?
Hold on, I'm looking at where we track these on the site and who's leading the charge on certain things, and it appears as if I was number 1 on NFL props last week.
Yes, that was on Tally's site. I don't think I've ever tracked an NFL play on Tally's site in my entire life. So, yeah. Well, either way.
Well, how do you tally tout if you aren't able to do that? Like, come on.
I feel like our results speak for themselves if you watch the show. So we're not making up results here. But I remember I initially had an issue with that platform because they didn't grade props. So I was doing like a bunch of effort and they weren't grading it properly, and then I just gave up. So now I'm just doing like sides and totals, I guess. But yeah, it's good to know that props actually work there now. But yeah, so congrats to being number 1. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I got to defend that title now this week.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, you can start now.
I don't is IG. I don't know who IG 9611 is because I don't see their face and stuff. But we have been on a crazy run for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like Geno under completions. I was a fan.
That got there.
I was a fan of Geno longest rush under 7.5 yards. I gave that out on the Mothership Show. His longest rush was 6, so that got there too. Unfortunately, though, my long shot parlay missed. I had Geno interception with Broncos defensive special teams touchdown with the under in the game at 21-1. And somehow they blocked the punt within the 5-yard line, and the ball did not go into the end zone, which is pretty rare in general. But yeah, they had a pick six that interception that got tackled back on the return, and you ended up seeing a blocked punt, which somehow bounced forward, and they got tackled to like the 10-yard line. So I was close to hitting a serious bomb there, but either way, once again, we did well with Geno, so hopefully he keeps cashing for us moving forward. Anyway, are you ready for your first prop?
Yeah, I was just looking at a couple things because I can see if someone has gotten to practice yet. But we can kick things off.
Cool.
Let me just see. What do I have here? I have a couple things that I want to dive into. Okay. So did you know there's a game? There's a game in Germany. Yeah. It is I think a lot of people don't realize this, but the Colts are laying a touchdown in Germany to the Falcons, which just doesn't seem right at all. And I'm going to take a guy that I like to maybe have a late run. I'd like him to have a late run. I don't know what's going to happen for Offensive Player of the Year, but that is Bijan Robinson. I'm actually taking him under 16.5 rush attempts. -106. He's under. So the Colts have a top rushing defense, and he is under in 3 of 4 over the last 2 seasons, 3 or 4 of against those kind of matchups. Colts have the lowest. They give up the lowest yards per carry since week 3. And so I don't really see this as a thing where they're going to keep running Bijan. They'll probably use him a lot in the passing game, which Colts are not very good at defending. He's under in 3 straight, and he's under in 4 of 6. So give me Bijan, who I know that they can use in multiple ways. I also think that you'll see Penix throw the ball a bit, because if you are acquiring Sauce Gardner, it means that you aren't a huge fan of what you existingly have on your passing defense. So I expect them to kind of take advantage of that. So Bijan under 16.5 rush attempts.
And for the reference, they also did give up a decent amount of draft capital to get Sauce, so they clearly did not like their secondary at all. But honestly, I respect the move in general. You had any thoughts on the trade?
I mean, I thought we talked about. I think we talked about. I can't remember if we talked about it yesterday. Oh, I don't think
we talked about it on air. I think we talked about it off air.
I mean, the problem with the Jets is that I think it's a great deal. I think it's a solid for the Colts, because the Colts clearly are like, yeah, this is our window and we're going to have these guys. And like, I guess that the takeaway I have from that is that Daniel Jones is their guy also, because like you aren't acquiring guys that are on like 4 and 5 year contracts if you still need a quarterback. And so that's my takeaway. And then for the Jets, it's sort of like, I agree with the move because you're not one player away clearly on these things, but man, you keep getting these top couple picks that are solid players, and you even got to points where you're extending them. And it's just sort of like, what are you team building here?
Yeah. For me, I broke it down kind of as a win-win trade for me, because the Jets, at the end of the day, with the current core they have, I know we're going to segue, but it was a pretty big trade in general. I thought it was a win-win. The Jets, look, I think Quinn Williams is very solid. I think Sauce Gardner is very good. I think Gardner's expectations from rookie season onward, he's not really lived up to, because he was having an all-time great corner season in his rookie year. He's good. Like, I think he's a very solid player. Do I think that he is Darrelle Revis? No, obviously, because nobody's Darrelle Revis. But the point is, the Jets weren't going anywhere anyway. So they said, you know what? Why not? We just paid him a lot of money. We extended him. And we're not going to be competitive with them in the immediate future anyway, so why bother? So I understand why the Jets did it. 2 first-round picks is a good deal as well, even if they're in the back end of the first round. As for the Colts, look, you're in win-now territory. You play in the worst division in the entire league, so you're looking at a good opportunity to be a consistent division winner. Daniel Jones, we'll see if he is the guy moving forward. It kind of reminds me of the Vikings with Darnold last year. We thought it was a guaranteed be there, and then he sucked in the playoffs, and they moved on. So we'll see what happens, but the point is, I like what the Colts did too. They got aggressive. Their picks are going to be in the back end of the first round anyway. Their division stinks, so if they think they can get a monopoly on the division, then you go for it, just simply put. But I kind of thought it was a win-win. You could argue that they maybe overpaid a bit for Sauce, but if they think that the AFC is weak and they think they can actually pull
it's hard
this
to
off,
find cornerbacks, man. Like, you can't say that Sauce stinks. See, it's hard to, like, it's really like the Eagles just redid all of their cornerbacks because they were like like it's hard to find competent cornerbacks.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
by the way,
I think Sauce is good.
Yeah. I see Sean in the comments, the Bijan prop, that no Brenton Buckner is concerns that Atlanta might be able to run more. I mean, they're going to run either way. They like to use both those guys. It's 17 is pretty high. I think it's just more about the dynamics of the fact that the weaknesses on the Colts are on the passing and pass, especially with like running backs that have been able to do that. So I'm fine with it. It's not a bell cow. It's also not a bell cow spread to me. I kind of think that they'll, if you're a 6-point dog, then they're clearly expecting you to have to catch up or do some things there. So I like it to be, I like them to have it under there. I mean, 16 can land on 15, 14. I mean, remember, Bijan's extremely deadly in the passing game, in the receiving game. That's kind of where he does most of his damage. It's not even really on the running side.
Yeah, so I don't mind, once again, Bijan to be involved, but it doesn't have to be through the ground game, as you said before. So moving on to my first play, I'm actually going to be recycling some plays I've taken in the past because they've been winning, so I'm going to keep taking them. First play, I'm going to go with the D-Gen play. I'm going to go with the Bills game as they take on the Dolphins again. Give me Dalton Kincaid, first quarter over 4.5 receiving yards at -135. He's had always 5 receiving yards in the first quarter in 13 of his last 14 games. I didn't mind it if you could find it at like 7.5 as well, but I saw a good deal at 4.5, so I'll take it. Dolphins are allowing the 5th most receiving yards per game to opposing tight ends, and on top of that, earlier this season, when I took this play in the exact matchup against the Dolphins, he had 41 receiving yards in the first quarter, in the first meeting of the season against this team. Dolphins, though, can't cover tight ends. 4.5 yards is nothing. Kincaid had 100-plus yards against the Chiefs last week. We know he's a big piece of this offense. With the receiving core in general, not that great. Think Kincaid's going to be involved. 4.5 yards in the first quarter is nothing. They try to get him involved a lot early. Gone over this in 13 of the last 14 games, including last season. Give me Kincaid, first quarter over 4.5 receiving yards, -135.
Yeah, I like both tight ends in this game. I looked at Kincaid. I looked at Kincaid. I also looked at Knox because Knox has still been part of that. I know Kincaid was out for a bit. I think maybe later we can figure out a way. Maybe we play them both.
That Dolphins team can't cover a tight end to save their lives.
No, they can't. I'm still figuring out how I think that game's going to go. It's a divisional game with an extremely long divisional home dog with by the way, a coach that was given a vote of confidence. So it's not like there's a weird thing going on there. And it's a natural letdown spot off the Chiefs game. That's not to say I don't like this play. It's more of how I'm thinking about how the game script goes. But I think that I like the play. I like that play a lot.
You're mentioning game script. That's also why I'm targeting the first quarter, because I think that it's good. It might be snowing, by the way, on Sunday, so keep an eye out for the weather. It's supposed to be pretty rough.
In Miami?
No, I thought they were in Buffalo.
Are they? I thought they were in Miami.
I thought they were in Buffalo. No, sorry, you're right. They're in Miami. My bad.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, if it's snowing in Miami, we got other things going on.
Yeah, my bad. I thought they were playing in Buffalo for some reason.
No.
Either way,
I know. Look, Kincaid's his guy.
Like, it's even better for me because I was worried about bad weather.
Do you like it for the people that don't have a quarter prop? Would you take his over receptions or would you take his game receiving yards?
I think after the first game, I'd probably just take the yards.
Okay.
I mean, you're looking at what he did against the Dolphins in the first meeting of the season. They couldn't cover him. I mean, he had 100+ against the Chiefs. The receivers
do you know what Knox's snap count was in that game?
That I can check. So let me just quickly pull that up.
Yeah.
So the snap count for the last game, Kincaid didn't play many snaps. Kincaid only played 35%. This is his second game back. Then Knox played 48. So Kincaid had 101 yards on 35% snap share, which is just bonkers.
Yeah.
So I expect him to move up in that category. But
he loves
either way. So it's mostly a matchup thing, but thank you for pointing out they're playing in Miami because I know the weather in Buffalo is not supposed to be good this weekend. So either way, Dolphins can't cover him. 4.5 yards is nothing. So give me Kincaid over first quarter receiving yards is my first play for the show. Moving on to your second play. What do you like?
Second play. All right. So do you know who Lamar Jackson loves to play against?
Lamar Jackson has some serious. I'm gonna guess. Is it Brian Flores? Is that where you're going with this?
No. I mean, I was just gonna say against the NFC. You went way too deep.
That works too. Okay. I thought you meant like individual team wise, but yes, he does own the NFC.
24-5.
Yeah.
24-5.
Didn't it used to be like 24-1, and the only like loss was the Giants? Wasn't that a thing for a couple of years?
I don't know, maybe, but
I think so.
I think that I think they fucked this team up. Anyways, 24-5 in his career. Yeah, he was 21 a year ago. He was 21-1. But I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson over 225 passing yards, minus 104. He's averaging 266 against NFC teams the last two seasons. He had 288 against Detroit in September. Last three QBs against the Vikings have gone over this number. Hurts threw for 300. So,
and both AJ Brown and Devontae had like 100 and whatever. Like
you can throw on this team, and after the masterclass that they had last week, it's also the stuff that they threw against Goff is not going to work against Lamar because Goff
he can run. Yeah,
and Goff is
he's a long chair quarterback.
No. Use your term. I like when you say statue. You don't need to use a Colby term.
I thought you were trying to plug in a Colby term there. Yes, I always say statue. Same thing.
We should do shout out to the TCE guys who, by the way, the fact that like Mac and Colby that they do that show every night. Props, because I could not.
There's a running joke, by the way, that I will be up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I will log into the tennis podcast on whatever, and I just dive into their live stream comments because I'm up. So I just they just show up and go, "What's up, guys? How's it going?"
Yeah,
like the 3 a.m. graveyard shift. I just say what's up.
It really is. But we should do a Colby bingo where you name like an FCS quarterback. Anyway,
that works.
Lamar over 225 passing yards. I think this is. I know everyone's on him for the rushing stuff, but I do really like this as a Lamar passing game. Let me see if there's any other fun stats I can throw at everybody on this. I just think it's a monster game. Like I'm going to alt this and do some things with that. If I can get in touch with Ryan Monica Kramer, I will probably have him put this in as a pleaser for me. But yeah, so look, again, the last time Lamar went over this was against an NFC team. It was Detroit. It was in September. I think he's got his wheels back and everything. So I think we're getting a big Lamar game.
Yeah. Also worth pointing out that Lamar passing yards wise was not very good last game, but that's based on how badly they were beating Miami. He had 4 touchdowns. They ran the ball basically the entire fourth quarter. Nobody cared. So he could have easily have gotten more passing yards if they wanted to. Also worth mentioning for the sake of this game, since it's starting to get cold outside, I will point out this game is in a dome. So you don't have to worry about weather at all. So definitely good conditions for Lamar to potentially torch what I think has been a pretty underwhelming pass defense so far this season. Anyway, before we get into my second prop for the show, reminder that we're brought to you by our sponsor, Bookie.ag. Who's Bookie?
My Bookie.
So using to bet on football, basketball, hockey, you have college football, college basketball, tennis. They have a prop builder, second to none. And you can also use crypto for funding your account of getting nice payouts. And a reminder, when you have to Bookie.ag, use code SGPN for a special 100% back bonus, $500 for customers. Look at the G promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, the number one prediction market for sports in America. Get some great prices when you go to Novig because they have a lot of reduced juice options available in 30 states. Down the app when you do so. $50 to spend just $5 if use promo code SGPN. And then actually a Novig, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through our first call props for Week 10. Time to move on into my second prop for the show. I'm going to stay in that same game between the Ravens and the Vikings. You think the Ravens kill them? I kind of agree, so I'm going to go with a similar script, but I'm going to go with the other quarterback in this game. Took it last week and ended up winning. Give me J.J. McCarthy, interception at minus 104. Shout out to Novig. Most books have around minus 114. Novig at minus 104. I'll take it. McCarthy's played 3 games this season. He has at least one pick in every game. You're looking at the Ravens recently defensively. They've been playing better. They did shut down Caleb Williams and they shut down Tua. They've had at least one pick in 2 straight games. So the Ravens' pass defense overall this season has not been good at all, but they have played better over the last couple weeks. McCarthy, though, interception in every game. And the fact is, he was very good early against the Lions last week. The offense kind of shut down in that second half, and nobody really talked about it. The completion percentage wasn't that great. He ended up having a rushing touchdown as well. It was a nice win for Minnesota. I'm not going to ignore that, but he still threw a pick. He's had one in every game, and we think the Ravens might kill him, which might result in a good game script for more pass attempts for McCarthy. So I think the price is too cheap, simply put, for a guy that has a pick in every game. Give me the McCarthy interception at -104. Thoughts?
You left out the most important part.
He stinks?
Bingo.
Yeah. He stinks. So there you go. Oh, look, he played better than anybody thought he would against Detroit.
That was a very specific. They knew exactly what they needed to do in that game. They got the jump on them, which they did, and that was how they were going to do it.
It was mostly
they used Aaron Jones. They used Aaron Jones into the ground on that game because that was perfectly executed game that was circled.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, I thought that they mainly won the game because Goff had no time in the pocket, and they did a great job of pressuring him the entire game. But, you think that McCarthy played a good game because you watched him early, and you're like, wow, the Vikings actually scoring some points. Then you look up at McCarthy's stats. Tell me if you like these stats or not. So he had 3 overall touchdowns. That's a good start. 14 for 25 for 143 yards, 3 total touchdowns, 1 pick. And he got sacked 5 times. He didn't play well. People think he did because they won the game. He was not very good, which has been a common theme so far in his career. The Ravens might send some pressure. Do you know how many times McCarthy's been sacked in the first 3 games of his career? 14.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
They won the game, but he was not nearly as good as people think he was. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was really
good.
I
think he was fine. But
he had a very vanilla. He wasn't asked to. He did all right. He did better. He looked better than the other times, but also they'd been kind of prepping for. If this felt like a game they'd been prepping for a very long time.
Just throwing it out there that they won the game, and I get McCarthy was better than anybody expected after Wentz got hurt, but. Once again, he was 14 for 25 for 143 yards, and he got sacked 5 times. I still don't think he's very good. So I'm going to keep fading him. -104 with a pick at least in every game. Even the Lions game, they won, he had a pick. I just think that price is too good. So give me McCarthy interception at -104 on Novik. Anyway, I'm moving on to your last prop for Week 10. What do you like?
My last one for Week 10. All right, we're gonna go to this Pittsburgh game that we're going Sunday night. I don't usually do this to go. Actually, no, we're not gonna go to the Sunday night game because we do those separately and we throw this out on Twitter. But just so you guys know, it'll be Quentin Johnston longest over. We're actually gonna go to a gross game with Cleveland and the Jets. The Jets traded everybody away. Apparently, Quinnen Williams' last straw was Aaron Rodgers not being quarterback.
Yeah, apparently.
Anyway, we're going with Breece Hall under 64.5. I would basement that. We could. Ooh.
That's a nice one. Okay.
Okay. I think we may basement this. People ladder.
Yeah.
I think
I know what we're talking about.
All right.
We're gonna slide it.
Yeah, but what do you want to call it? A basement or a slide?
The basement's fine. I'm just trying to think of something that moves downward that you're referring to, and I feel like a slide is pretty solid for that, isn't it?
Okay, fine. We're going to slide this one. We're going to do a Breece Hall under 64.5 rush yards, under against top defenses, which Cleveland is. Top 2 seasons, he's only gone over number once in 11 tries. The last 2 running backs to go over this were Achane and Trayvon Henderson. And Henderson had a 27-yard run, and Achane had a 46-yard run. Other than that, every running back sails under this. It's a really great fade spot after he had 100 plus too. I took the base at 60. This is great. We got to it. I love this. I'm excited for this one, Scott. I am very excited about this one.
Yeah, you also have to mention that Breece Hall doesn't want to be there. They ended up keeping him after the deadline anyway. So I am kind of wondering if the script goes badly, and potentially we'll see if Hall stays healthy too, because he had some injury issues. But yeah, once again, Cleveland's run defense has been solid. Total's 38.5. Like, this game should just be disgusting. So you might have to sweat out a decent amount of carries. That could potentially happen if this turns into an ugly, ugly game. But if he ends up averaging like 3 yards a carry, that wouldn't shock me either. So might be a bit of a sweat, but I do think that it has value at that current number. So
yeah, let me look up some alt unders that we can do on this. We'll keep going with yours, and I'll find stuff so we can turn this into a slide.
Yeah, that works. So for my last play on the show, I'm going to go back to our guy, Fast Eddie. Give me Eddie Pinheiro. Give me the over 1.5 field goals. It's minus 110. Like, there are some kickers that we loved a lot, like Fairbairn, for example. Aubrey's unbettable at this point, where the sports books just juice the props up for field goals, so much so that we can't really take him anymore. Yeah, Fast Eddie's back to minus 110, so thanks. I appreciate it. Eddie's had at least 2 field goals in 7 of the last 8 games. The Rams are allowing the 10th most field goals per game in the league, allowing 1.9. And they faced off, a reminder, in that crazy Thursday night game where the entire Niners team was injured, and they won anyway. Pinheiro made 4 field goals in that game. So I do like the, I'd say, consistent passiveness from Shanahan, who just settles for a ton of field goals in the red zone. It's kind of his thing. But Pinheiro, 1.5 field goals, minus 110. When he's gone over in 7 of the last 8, he had 4 in the first game against the Rams. I love the price. I mean, Eddie was your guy first. Minus 110 is just a great price for a guy that's in the wagon.
Well, because we're off a game where he didn't have any, right?
No, he had 2. He had 2 against the Giants last game. So I think Eddie, once again, can get there in a couple of ways, but Shanahan's red zone offense can still be very underwhelming at times. So I'll go for the Pinheiro field goals here at 1.5 minus 110. Did you find what you were looking for?
No, they don't have it up yet, but we should definitely do this.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, I'm going to ask, do you prefer the overall yards or do you prefer the longest under?
For this. Oh, for Eddie Pinheiro, I love this.
No, for Brees.
No. I just want to keep going down.
Okay.
Like, just keep going down.
I wasn't sure with this total being 38 or so, the weather might not be great in New York.
Yeah, man, let's have fun. No, let's have fun.
It's fine. I just wasn't sure if you were a bit concerned with how low this number is, that the Jets might just hand the ball to Brees 20 times and we're just sweating out 3 yards a carry, basically. So I wasn't sure if you wanted to go with the longest instead, but I was going to ask you about it.
We'll see. It might not even be an option, so I have to find another ladder on the fly.
Just throwing out ideas.
We'll find another ladder on the fly. It'll be fun.
Okay, there we go. Anyway, miscellaneous time. Any bonus bets you want to mention?
Okay, well, so other stuff. I like Quentin Johnston, over 20 longest. Pittsburgh's given up the 3rd most yards to receivers since week 3. 71% wide receivers on the season have gone over their longest against Steelers. And he had a 27-yarder against Pittsburgh last year. He's over in 4 or 5.
I'm also going to mention that's the Sunday night game that is in LA, or it's in the Charger Stadium, so you don't have to worry about Pittsburgh weather.
Yeah,
this
is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Other plays that I have in pocket. People ask where. So I post everything on Babies Who Bet, and I have the stuff on Pickett. Sometimes I bet things on Pickett that are not for me. If you see something that is extremely degenerate, generally like a parlay of 2 touchdowns and like team to win by 17, it's probably Sean Green's. It's probably not.
Yeah, RIP to Lafayette money line, right?
That was fun though. They were in it. They lost.
They were. Yeah, I know. I just remember that that was one of the plays.
I was like, don't tell this. This is that was. So I do mystery parlays for you. That I did a mystery money line for him.
Yeah.
Things that I do like though. I mean, we could get to the latter portion. I kind of want to. Well, I'm trying to.
Well, it's your call. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to mention before the ladder.
No. I some stuff for Monday, but no, there's not a ton that's jumped out at me. I really liked your, Knox almost made the list.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fine.
We can have a live discussion about if we're going to ladder him or something, but yeah, keep going.
Well, I was asking you because we're in the bonus bets.
No, I don't have any bonus plays.
Oh, okay.
So we can get to we can move to ladders.
That's fine. Yeah. So as for ladders, we can talk about it now. I mean, Knox right now is one of the candidates. We did mention maybe just doing a slide on Brees Hall, so that could be an option as well.
I don't see them up, so that's why we can't do it.
No, I'm saying just in general for the audience because
let me give you a couple options.
Okay.
And we can do this live.
As for the slide, once again, it's a matter of if people are listening to this after that gets posted, check out some Brees Hall fades.
That's fair.
The point I'm making.
All right.
But
So, okay, do we both agree that we'd rather do a ladder with receiving yards than rushing yards, or no?
it depends on matchup, but I'd say mainly yes.
Okay. Okay, so here's some options for you.
Okay.
Do you want okay, the options are, do we want to fade Miami's defense? Do we want to fade Pittsburgh's defense? There's some options I'm seeing in here that are pretty good. Do we want to fade I don't know. Like I could be convinced to Knox's receiving yards is only like 10.
Yeah, we could get creative with that.
That's why I think that might be the one.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Let me look at this because he plays only 30. So
In theory, it could be one catch. I mean, if he ends up just having some type of
and like he's had the last 5 games, he's got 15, 19, 15, 30. He had only 5 against Miami a month ago, but I think he's just kind of like his usage is very there, As I'm looking at other tight ends, like, oh my God, everybody just eats on this team. Did Likely do well against this team?
I have to pull that up. Give me a second. I don't believe so because I know they targeted him in the end zone, but I don't think he did much. He did. He had 4 catches for 60.
There you go. Yeah, it's okay. So we should do this. Okay, so I think that we should do a Knox ladder that starts at 15. Okay.
Okay.
And then goes, or we could start at 20. I mean, 30 seems to be the top. What do you want to do? You want to do a step stool, and we could go.
Yeah, that works.
How do you want to do it?
No, I think the step stool sounds fine.
So what would you do? You want to do 15, 20, 30?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. So for the tape, we're going with the ladder for this episode is going to be Dawson Knox receiving ladder, 14 yards at. Let's start this over. Dawson Knox receiving yards ladder. It is the 14 and a half is plus 124. The 19 and a half is plus 195, and then the 29 and a half, which would be 30 yards, is 3-1. So we're going to take those 3. I'm going to do a unit on the baseline, and then to win a unit on the other 2.
Cool. All right, anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the bonus bets. Time to move on into our lock and our best bets and the target entry. Before we get into those 2 segments, a reminder that we brought to by our sponsor, Arctic Fantasy. Check out Fantasy Pick'em entry. Chance to win 5,000 times your entry. You can use different sports, mix and match, do whatever you want. A reminder, no offer for customers. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. So they're closer to college football, the NFL. They added the NBA. They also have college basketball. If you want some model picks there. Giving away cash prize of a week just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets for a model that you build, and you can win $1K. And we have a nice discount code with Rhythm. So check out promo code SGPN25. Read down the app for a quarter first month. That were the ones. Once again, promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off the first month. Promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month at Rhythm. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through the plays that we have for Week 10. Time to move on into our best bets. Adam, what's going to be your best bet for the show?
By the way, I'm making a tweak to this ladder.
Okay.
I think we just do the 20 and the 30.
That's fine. Yeah, we don't really need the.
He only gets he's only getting 2 or 3 targets.
Yeah.
And so.
Now we're banking on a relatively long catch in there. That's fine.
Right. And I think that's the way to do it. So I'm just, as I look at this, as the longest. I mean, as long as reception 7.5. Did we play this wrong? No, I don't. I think we just do the bomb. I think. I mean,
I was gonna say if you wanted to, we could do 20 and 30. And we could throw in a separate alt longest catch if you wanted to get creative with that. We could do some type of hybrid.
Or do that on the underdog.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But we can throw in a longest catch associated with the ladder if we wanted to.
Nope, so. I'm into that. I think that we do. And I think that we just do, but we do 20 and 30. We do 20 and 30. And we can just do a half a unit on each.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm repeating mine. Is that what I'm doing? No,
I'm gonna ask you what your best bet was.
Oh, my best bet. My best bet is going to be the Breece Hall under rushing.
Okay. For mine, I'm going back to Kincaid. First quarter over 4.5 receiving yards at minus 135. He's had at least 5 receiving yards in the first quarter and 13 of the last 14. Dolphins can't cover tight ends, and he had 41 yards in the first quarter against them in the first meeting this season. It's in Miami, so the weather should not be that bad. Point is, we like Knox overall for the game. Kincaid is still the guy, and I do think he'll play well early in that game. Anyway, moving on to Underdog. Any initial thoughts? Anything you want to recycle from the show?
Yeah, let's do the Kincaid longest, or do you want to do? Well, you want to do?
You want Kincaid or you wanted Knox longest?
Sorry, you want to do? Let's do Knox longest.
Okay, that's fine
if it's there. Yeah, higher 7.5.
Okay.
What else did you like? Fast Eddie.
I'm fine with that. I mean, that's our guy.
That's our guy.
My concern is the Rams mess up that team after what happened earlier this year, but it is in San Francisco.
Shanahan.
He always finds a way to keep games close anyway. So yeah. And that red zone offense is a mess. So I'm fine with it.
What else?
I'll ask you. Is there anything that you wanted to consider?
And I'll ask you. What do you want?
Damn it.
Why don't you tell me the name of the movie you'd like to see?
Yes. Let me see. I mean, I think the Lions bounce back, but I'm trying to figure out how to bet that against the Commanders.
See, I think they bounce back, but I think that they don't. I don't think they cover.
Okay. Because I mean, that Commanders secondary is so.
So you want to do James? Well, do you want to do James Williams?
I thought about either Williams or maybe Amon-Ra touchdown or something because that secondary is a mess.
Right.
I mean, Darnold have 4 touchdowns against them?
I think James Williams. Do you want to do James Williams TD?
That's fine. If you want to get bold here, that's fine. I mean, that secondary is terrible. That secondary is awful.
You say bold, but it's not. It doesn't make our thing that high, but it's still good. So
he had a touchdown last week, so fair enough.
Right, and this is a good matchup for that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we saw Darnold have no incompletions, I think, in the entire first half. So yes.
Dawson Knox higher 7.5 longest reception. James Williams higher 0.5 rushing and receiving TD, so to get a TD. And Eddie Pinheiro, Fast Eddie, future friend of the program, higher 1.5 field goals made.
And do you have the payout on that?
Allegedly 6.7. Well, it's 6.78. It's 50 to allegedly win $339.
There you go. All right. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. For Week 10, a reminder, we're going to be back once again on Monday to get into the Monday night games. So check out that episode too. And a reminder, every Thursday, I saw a couple questions about the schedule we have for this program. So we do Mondays for Monday Night Football, Thursday for NBA, NHL, and then we also do Friday morning for the upcoming NFL Sunday. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the show. And we're back once again on Monday. Find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rosenberg. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of